ensure the success of our party and your ultimate victory come 2027.
Your Excellency, I want to, on behalf of the whole entire former CPC members, inform you and assure you that the CPC families in every state, we have all resolved that we will go back home and create former CPC members for Asuwaju in all our states. And that movement will also be cascaded down to local governments in all our states and to all wards and to all polling units.
It was a moment of assurance as President Bola Tinubu reported that the efforts and processes towards the economic rejuvenation are yielding good results with a huge improvement on the non-oil revenue targets.
Today I'm standing before you, I can brag that Nigeria is not borrowing, it's dying from local bank. The revenue, we have met our target of revenue for the whole year. We met it in August. I've reviewed this morning. The path to Nigerian recovery, we are on it. Go home, be assured. Don't let anybody threaten you or for any uncertainty. We are certain we are going to succeed.
With the economy improving, the President says the next priority of his administration is on the agricultural revival program toward attainment of his planned food sovereignty.
A huge mechanization, program that every region we have a mechanized center for agric mechanization and have trainees and all of that. That is our path to food sovereignty, food security. You remove hunger from poverty, you have defeated poverty.
The President also promises to keep the memory of late Muhammad Buhari alive with total commitment to justice and transparency, which the former President represented.
And we will jointly put dime, nickel, kobo, toro together. We will build a Buhari house.
From the State House, Musbal and Wahab, NT News.
President Bola Tinubu has directed all security agencies to strategize better and re-energize or better result in tackling insecurity in parts of the country. The President himself revealed the directive while addressing a delegation of Katsina State eminent stakeholders who came visiting the State House. Details of our report will come in a subsequent bulletin. Meanwhile, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has reaffirmed his commitment to serve all Nigerians, reiterating his firm dedication to the oath of office. Zinrat Ting reports.
President Bola Tinubu emphasizes the importance of genuine development across all sectors to drive the desired national development. In his words, quote, "I took an oath to serve all Nigerians, not a section. That oath guides every bridge, road, rail, power, and health project we deliver. From the Lagos-Calabar Highway in the south to the Sokoto-Badagry Superhighway in the north, from Port Harcourt-Maiduguri Rail in the east to Abuja-Kaduna-Kano Expressway in the center, and the Trans-Saharan Highway connecting African countries. These are not local trophies. They are our national assets. Health centers are being rehabilitated nationwide. Light rail projects in Kano, Kaduna, Lagos, and Ogun have been given the green light. 250,000 jobs are being created. Power is returning to Kaduna through the revived 255 megawatt power plant. Bridges in Onitsha and Bonny reconnect our people. oil exploration is expanding in Bauchi and Gombe, and the AKK pipeline has crossed the Niger. He says every farmer who needs a road, every trader who needs power, every child who needs a school, every patient who needs care. This is who we are building for. This is the equity of renewed hope. No Nigerian is second class. No region is left behind. Together, we will rise as one nation, one people, and one destiny. Zen Reddingmoon, NTA News.
And with me in the studio to throw more light on President Tinubu's open letter is architect Waziri Bulama. He is a public affairs analyst. You're welcome to the Network News.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Now, following the quote of President Bola Tinubu, which says, and I quote, "I took an oath to serve all Nigerians, not a section." What do you make of the president's letter, open letter to Nigerians? Starting with that quote.
Well, the president's statement, I think, is a response to misleading, public information given up by, some disruptors and rabble-rousers who are making undue criticism of what is going on. The response, this statement of the president in this way shows that he's a responsive leader, and it also shows a kind of leadership style that is humble, that is sincere, and that has resolve to lead Nigeria based on the oath of office and the oath of allegiance he has taken. And I think that is what one can easily read out of this. And it's a very good statement because there are very, few leaders in this country who swear on inauguration with the holy books in hand and undertake, the oath of office and the oath of allegiance, which are extremely weighty statements, but who, at the end of it, I think go about, administering and running leadership and politics as though they made no such commitments. So I'm extremely happy that the president, went backward to say, look, this is the undertaking between me and God that I took before the whole country and before God. And I am going to, safeguard the Constitution and ensure that every Nigerian matters, every Nigerian is equal, every Nigerian enjoys peace and prosperity.
All right, Architect Bulama, indeed we have seen some projects, some ongoing, others completed. How will these projects impact the social and economic development of the country?
Yes. Well, these projects that the president is pursuing are all carefully chosen to impact, and spread, all over the country. And these projects are, expected to impact their heavy, big legacy projects that would impact the economic, development of all parts of the country. This is, of course, in addition to the creation of the regional development boards, to accompany the first one, the Northeast Development Commission that was created, and the Niger Delta Development Commission. Another 4 were created to cover the other zones, so as to fast track, infrastructure development evenly, throughout the country. And I want to also draw your attention to one fact. Every Nigerian is entitled to care, security, and protection by 3 levels of government: the federal government, the state government, and the local governments. And since, the inauguration of this government in 2023, and with the major, policies, especially the removal of the fuel subsidy, which was implemented, as well as the merger of the exchange rate of the naira, a lot of money, which had been saved, had been made available to the local governments and the state governments. So the federal government is doing a great deal, carrying out a great deal of projects, all over the states and all over the zones. The state governments, too, are also carrying out a lot. And these local governments are also doing their bit. But there, of course, there are limitations where, for instance, the president himself, has taken steps through of course, the Minister of Justice, Prince Latif Fagbemi, SAN, to ensure that the local governments have full autonomy and access to their funds to ensure that they also perform and deliver services to the citizens. And as well, too, in one major meeting like 2 months ago, the president requested the governors to carry development and programs to all the wards of this country. There are 8,809 wards, in addition, of course, under the 774 local governments. And he said, look, we have enough resources to show government presence and deliver projects that will impact and improve the security and lives of citizens. Please ensure that as leaders of these subnational governments, these projects are implemented.
All right. Many thanks, Architect Waziri Ulama, public affairs analyst. That's the much we'll be able to take. I know you have loads and loads of information, and also as Nigerians, we all have a role to play. Many thanks for your contributions.
Thank you. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you very much.
The Bureau of Public Enterprises says it is working on ensuring ongoing reforms deliver more impact on livelihoods of Nigerians. This was at a World Press Conference in Abuja, highlighting the achievements of the Bureau in the last 15 months and beyond. Benny Adams reports that the Bureau has so far raked more than 170 billion naira as revenue to government coffers and looking to do more before the end of the year.
After 15 months of stewardship, it was time to take stock at the Bureau of Public Enterprises under the leadership of Ayodeji Ariyogbeleyi.
So let's see the cup as half full as against half empty.
Media executives follow the numbers with keen interest. From the privatization and commercialization of key revenue-generating state-owned enterprises, the Bureau of Public Enterprise say it has a target of raising 312.33 billion naira as revenue for the federal government before the end of the year.
Today, all of the potentials that we have unlocked in the telecom space, in the e-commerce space, in the payment solution space, in the digital banking space, would not have come to reality. Government is embarking on projects that will deliver 3.2 million meters. Nigerians are going to be the one installing the meters.
Ario adds that the impact of work done so far is reflected in the number of jobs being created and the revenue numbers being recorded.
But trust us, we are very focused, irrevocably committed in our mandate to work with critical stakeholders to achieve the very best for Nigerians.
While Ario commits to delivering on promises made from telecommunications to aviation and the power sector, the coming months will be a test of whether Nigeria can finally learn from its past and look to a more prosperous economy. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
Nigeria is committed to the peace, security and stability of the Gulf of Guinea, particularly in ensuring full implementation of ongoing maritime reforms. Vice President Kashim Shettima said this when he received the Executive Secretary of the Gulf of Guinea Commission, Jose Mbabeso, and his team on a courtesy visit to the presidential villa. State House correspondent Abdurrahman Jibrila reports.
Nigeria's commitment to regional cooperation and this meeting is in support of the African Union's 2050 Integrated Maritime Strategy, reaffirming Nigeria's strong commitment to the objectives of the Gulf of Guinea Commission. Vice President Kashim Shettima appreciated the role of the Commission in fostering cooperation, peace and sustainable development. The Vice President said, as Africa's most populous nation and the largest economy, Nigeria's interest is to protect, promote, project and preserve the Gulf of Guinea.
I want to reaffirm once again our full unalloyed commitment to the ideals, to the objectives of the GJC. I want to commend the leadership of the GJC for the relative peace we are experiencing. Issues of piracy are diminished, oil theft, illegal fishing, all these issues are being addressed. And the Nigerian Navy is doing excellently well in policing the Nigerian waters. But two heads are better than one, because without effective cooperation and collaboration between the member states of the GJC, we can accomplish very little.
Executive Secretary of the Commission, Jos Abeso, solicited Nigeria's support for the Commission's reform programs aimed at expanding its membership to include all the 19 coastal states of the Gulf of Guinea and improving peace and security in the region. He urged the need for stakeholders in the region to jointly engage insurance companies in reviewing the high premium paid for the movement of goods in the Gulf of Guinea. From the State House, Abraham Jibrila, NTA News.
And on flood alert, the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency, NISA, has announced that between September 1st and 15th, 2025, 631 communities across 107 local government areas in 29 states may experience high-risk flood. In a statement, the agency listed Adamawa, Anambra, Bauchi, Benue, Borno, Delta, Gombe, Jigawa, Kebbi, Kogi, Lagos, Ogun, Plateau, Sokoto, Taraba, Yobe and Zamfara are states at high risk. Some other states and FCT may experience moderate flooding. Citizens and government are urged to remain vigilant, clear drains and take necessary precautions. You're watching the Network News. More reports when we return.
By the special grace of God, I will be turning 65 years old on the 21st September 2025. And this happens to be a Sunday. This is why I have decided to dedicate the day to God for all His blessings in my life and having a quiet birthday. I wish to appeal to those who would like to send a birthday card, cakes, flowers, greetings in the newspapers, or gifts. Should please send the funds to the designated account for a special project close to my heart, among many others. The completion of the National Library. This will be the best birthday present I could receive. My love for education has informed my decision to dedicate my birthday to this worthy cause. This fund is coordinated by the Federal Ministry of Education under Oluremi at 65 Education Fund, Zenith Bank PLC. Account number is 131-031-4977. Thank you for joining me in this building project. God bless you.
The Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, on behalf of himself, government and good people of Borno State, felicitate with His Excellency the Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Kashim Shettima, as he celebrates his 59th birthday. Mr. Vice President, the people of Borno are indeed pleased to rejoice with you as you mark another impactful year in the service to your fatherland. Your mentorship has shaped countless leaders in Borno and beyond. Your humility, leadership, integrity, and vision remains a hallmark of great stewardship, service to the people with grace and patience. Your intellectual prowess consistently informs sound policy, strategic decision, and thoughtful dialogue, which elevates our national discourse. Your Excellency, the trajectory of your public service as a commissioner, governor, as senator, and now a vice president has been exemplary. May your birthday be a reflection of lives you have touched positively, and wishing you more years of service to the nation. Once again, happy birthday, Your Excellency. Signed, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, Executive Governor of Borno State and Chairman, Northeast Governors Forum.
Attention Nigeria, the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Shehu Mohammed MNI, cordially invites you to the Corps' 8th Annual Lecture Series on 3rd September 2025 at the Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja. Time 10 a.m. prompt. Theme: Road Safety Management and Emerging Transportation Trends, Global Partnership for Optimal Performance. Guest Lecturer, Mr. Saul Billingsley, Director, Federation Internationale de l'Automobile, FRA Foundation, London. Special Guest of Honor, His Excellency Kashim Shettima, GCON, Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Chief Host, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, His Excellency Senator George Akume, CON. Royal Father of the Day, Emir of Zazzau, Ambassador Ahmed Luhuba Mali, CFR. Be there, add your voice, help shape the journey ahead, because when roads are safe, the future is bright. Federal Road Safety Corps, creating a safe motoring environment in Nigeria.
In the beating heart of Owerri, business never sleeps. From sunrise to sundown, the wheels keep turning. And behind the scenes, vision meets action. Governor Hope Uzodimma's leadership has turned manifestos into reality, transformations that feels like a miracle. But progress needs peace, and in Imo, it's not left to chance. From land to sky to river deep, guardians are watching, protecting dreams and opportunity. At Orashi's quiet shore, hydropower is rising, set to energize a growing economy. The change is visible. New roads emerge, industry hums, communities come alive. At the center, a digital revolution. 500,000 young minds trained each year to build the future. As Orashi rises, so does Imo and the hopes of a hard-working people. A new Imo is on the rise.
Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, former Speaker, House of Representatives and Chief of Staff to the President, convener, National Forum of Former Legislators, invites you to the Southern Summit of Former Legislators. Theme: National Unity, Bedrock for Nation Building. Date: Saturday 13th September 2025. Venue: June 12 Cultural Center, Abeokuta, Ogun State. Time: 10 a.m. prompt. Under the chairmanship of Senator Kent Namani, former Senate President. Host Governor His Excellency Prince Dakpo Abiodun, Executive Governor of Ogun State. Guest of Honor: Senator Pius Ayim, Right Honorable Bello Masari, Right Honorable Patricia Eti, Right Honorable Dimeji Bankole, Right Honorable Yakubu Dogara, Right Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila. Convener: Honorable Raphael Nana Igbokwe, National Coordinator. Announcer.
Thanks for being there. Now let's join our State House correspondent, Musbao Dawahab, to tell us more on President Bola Tinubu's directive to all security agencies to strategize better and re-energize for better results in tackling insecurity in parts of the country.
Katsina State was well represented here. Governor Diko Radda led the delegation, including a former governor of the state, former and current members of the National Assembly and other eminent citizens of the state to the State House. It was a mission of appreciation and demands.
Normally we politicians are known to be afraid of the next election. But the decisions you have taken on behalf of this country are decisions that show that you love the country more than the next election.
The befitting National Barrier Program accorded former President Muhammadu Buhari remains invaluable to them.
The honor you have given to our leader, the former President Muhammadu Buhari, we cannot stop thanking you for this privilege.
They equally appreciated the President for appointments to the indigenes of the state as well as the federal projects being carried out in the state. But then, they demand an improved strategy towards addressing insecurity in parts of the state and accelerated processes on the ongoing projects in the state, including the aviation school.
Mr. President, the elders of Katsina State respectively request Mr. President to immediately consider the following critical measures. 1. Directive be given to all the relevant security agencies to foster seamless synergy in their efforts to combat banditry, kidnapping, cattle rustling, and other criminal activities plunging our communities. We also wish to emphasize the urgent need for the federal government's intervention in the resettlement of banditry victims and the funding of their livelihood support programs.
As it appears, their issues are part of the priorities on the table, as the President hinted at the possibility of state policing while promising that the review of all aspects of security is ongoing.
Directed all the security agencies to energize further, to look at the strategy again, additional deployment of air drones. It might be necessary, instead of all these civilian, this medical, this or JTVFT civilian that, and we might have to create state police.
And with a renewed assurance, the president says Nigeria will defeat insecurity. From the State House, Musbah and Wahab, NT News.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has directed the recall of Saliu Abdulhamid Dembos, the Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority (NTA), who briefly vacated the post following some management changes in the agency. Dembos was appointed DG of the NTA by President Tinubu in October 2023. He will return to complete his 3-year tenure. The president similarly directed the recall of Ayo Adewi, the Executive Director News, to complete his 3-year tenure, which ends in 2027. Adewi was appointed by President Tinubu in 2024. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Ononuga, says the new directive effectively reversed the previously announced appointments of a Director General, Executive Director News, Executive Director Marketing, and Managing Director of the NTA Enterprises. Now to the transportation sector. The Minister of Transportation, Said Ahmad Al-Khali, says the damaged portion of the Abuja-Kaduna rail track will be fixed in 10 days' time. He made this known during an inspection of the derailed track and coaches destroyed last Tuesday at Asham Station, stating that the Nigeria Railway Corporation engineers are working tirelessly to ensure that the clearing and repairing of the damaged tracks are fixed promptly.
Actually, the incidents occur at a point where we have 2 rail lines. Normally, we can run 2 trains at a time. So there are points where the 2 trains will interchange. So normally we have a point there. That is where the accident occurred. However, I'm not in a position now to preempt the investigation to say why the incidents happen. I'm here with full of the team from the Minister of Transportation, Director Railway, and all his engineers, and even the committee doing the investigation. The CCEC are here, team are here, civil rights organization, all of us are here, so that we ensure we have done justice to the investigation.
He commended security agencies and other stakeholders for their efforts in ensuring the safety of passengers, workers, and train facilities at the site. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau, NSIB, is intensifying efforts in a thorough investigation into the August 26, 2025 Abuja-Kaduna train derailment incident at Asham train station and plans to release preliminary findings within 30 days from the date of the incident. Aliu Kabir reports.
The Director General, Captain Alex Bade, while briefing journalists, says the investigation team is working hard, aims to identify the root cause of the derailment and provide recommendations to prevent future incidents.
The identification of causes or contributing factors does not imply assignment of fault, blame, or liability, be it administrative, criminal, or civil. The investigation is conducted independently of any judicial, administrative, or other proceedings, ensuring impartiality. Upon notification of the accident by the NRC, as required under Part 4 of the regulation, including details such as the date, time, location, type of occurrence, and initial consequences.
The DG confirmed that number of injured persons has been updated to 12 from the initial report of 6 out of the total 583 persons, which recorded no fatality.
But most importantly, I think as an agency we should be adequately funded too by the government. As you've seen with this accident that just happened, typically it almost seems like we wait for accidents and we become reactionary here. And at the NSIB, we're trying to prevent these accidents.
While the cause of the incident has not been established pending the final report, NSIB stated that the report will be released within 30 days and will be shared with the Nigerian Railway Corporation, the regulatory authorities, and the general public. In Abuja, Aliu Kabir, NTA News.
Talking health, Nigeria's health system is undergoing major reforms aimed at improving population health outcomes. Coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Professor Muhammad Ali Pate, he was speaking at a program for Results Working Exchange visit with the Senegal Ministry of Health and Social Action in Abuja, explained that the initiative will strengthen their capacities through engagements with Nigerian institutions implementing health projects.
This is not a one-way street. I'm sure our ministry would also learn from what you have been doing in Senegal. The advantage of this interaction is we learn from each other. For a very long time, we have also looked at Senegal.
Nigeria has been experiencing these methods of funding since 2015, and Senegal, we want to implement it. It's something very new for us, and we came here in Nigeria to learn from your experience so that we know how to adapt it and how to implement it in our country.
The reforms driven by President Bola Tinubu's political will focus on strengthening governance, improving maternal and child health, boosting immunization coverage, and addressing non-communicable diseases. Responsible for nearly 45% of all deaths among children under age 5 in Nigeria, malnutrition has become a public health concern, tending towards humanitarian crisis. Latest report by the UNICEF ranks Nigeria top globally in malnutrition, with 40% of children stunted. Health correspondent Akimat Aliyu now breaks down the figures and intervention to end this national crisis.
Many thanks, Olajide. Here's a breakdown on the current crisis of malnutrition in Nigeria, which experts say is a silent emergency that continues to claim young lives. UNICEF links malnutrition to 45% of all deaths among children under 5 in Nigeria. Nigeria is also said to have the second highest number of stunted children globally. You can see from the details on the screen that the numbers are staggering. Over 2 million children suffer from acute malnutrition, and this year, an estimated 3.5 million children will experience it, with the majority in the Northeast. And right now, millions of children are at imminent risk that doubles the figure from last year. The crisis is most severe in the Northeast and Northwest in Nigeria. In Katsina alone, 652 children died in just 6 months of 2025. That's a 208% increase compared to last year. Now, Olajide, if you say why is this happening, well, it has been attributed to conflict and insecurity, displaced families, and lack of access to farmlands. There are also the issue of climate shocks like droughts and floods, which wipes out crops. Another cause is the soaring food prices, which makes it difficult for families to afford nutritious meals. Also, humanitarian funding are reducing supplies, leaving thousands of children without help. Now, behind every statistics of malnutrition is a child. Children with malnutrition don't just face death, they face lifelong setbacks, such as stunted growth, poor learning ability, weakened immunity, and lower productivity as adults. That is why this is not just a health issue, it is a development crisis. And to end this crisis, experts say government's commitment and stronger nutrition policies are needed. Donors should also be increased to restore life-saving funding. There's also an appeal for community-based nutrition programs that will get to children in villages, the IDP camps, and finally maybe include actions through advocacy awareness and support for affected families. And also it's important to note that this malnutrition crisis is more than just numbers. It's about real children whose lives and futures hang in the balance. And through broad action, united actions, experts have emphasized that Nigeria can rewrite this story and build a healthier, stronger Nigeria. Thank you, Olajide.
Many thanks, our health correspondent there, Hakimat Ali, for a comprehensive fact sheet on malnutrition in Nigeria. And to education, for millions of students and parents across Nigeria, the way examinations are conducted is about to change. The West African Examinations Council, WAEC, is setting the stage for a full transition to computer-based testing at the senior secondary level. As Olayinka Ojo reports that the journey begins with a sensitization program for members of the National Assembly Committees on Education aimed at ensuring a smooth and inclusive transition.
For more than 7 decades, the West African Examinations Council has remained a dependable institution, providing valuable service to the African child and contributing immensely to the growth of education across the sub-region. Guided by its core values of integrity and accountability, the Council is preparing for a full transition to computer-based examinations by 2026.
It is on this note that I declare this very important program.
This meeting marks the beginning of a series of engagements with stakeholders.
This will foster the necessary support for the smooth deployment of CB1 system for the upcoming WAS for School Candidates 2026. Once this kicks off, we are going to replicate it in all nooks and crannies of the country.
The computer-based model is already proving effective.
A computer-based WAS will fight malpractice, improve efficiency, and prepare our learners for digital age.
For government, the reform aligns with efforts of expanding access to quality education through improved infrastructure, which is seen as a pathway to job creation, wealth generation, and national development.
This is why we have remained steadfast in pursuing the knowledge-driven economy, leveraging innovation and technology to inspire learning and equip our youth with the skills needed for tomorrow's opportunity. And at the National Assembly, you can be assured of our collaboration as well.
The paradigm shift from paper to computer-based testing officially commenced in January 2024 with private candidates examination, setting the stage for broader implementation in the years ahead. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Now let's join Adiola in Lagos for more stories on the network news. Adiola, it's over to you.
Olajide. A new dawn is unfolding in the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, as it continues in its upward trajectory in the 100 days with renewed commitment to facility upgrade and development of an enriched training model that aligns with current realities. Joa Popola reports that the new Director General of ASCON, Funke Adepoju, has signed Memorandum of Understanding with universities and learning institutes to reposition the college for more efficiency.
The narrative of Nigeria's foremost public service institute, the Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, Badagry, has been a beehive, with Director General Funke Adepoju setting a new paradigm that will accelerate the attainment of the vision of the present administration for a digitized public service capable of solving problems. This gathering at the ASCON Auditorium is to examine the impact of the reforms of the last 100 days, which includes creating an enabling environment for learning. Beyond these, critical reforms that will have positive impacts on public administration and policy are manifesting, with over 590 personnel from Lagos State Civil Service and other agencies trained.
We embarked on a journey of transformation, and so far it's going very well. We're trying to benchmark against international best practices, and we have seen so much happen in these last few days.
Key reforms in ASCON include the National Skill Gap Survey, curriculum overhaul, and transformation. These stakeholders, including the Lagos State Head of Service, say will achieve the agenda of the present administration.
The ASCON we see here today is not the ASCON that I have been to before. It's totally different ball game.
The consensus of speakers is for the current momentum to be sustained to have a public service that is indeed service-oriented. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And that's it from Lagos. The network news will continue with Olajide in Abuja after this time out.
Sedap Supreme Noodles is here for you.
because only the finest ingredients go into Sedap Supreme Chicken Essence to give it that truly delicious chicken taste. Sedap Supreme tasty chicken noodles with real chicken essence, capturing the Sedap Supreme tasty chicken goodness. Sedap Supreme noodles, the essence of tasty chicken goodness. Also available in rich spices variant. Be Supreme Nigeria.
Taste World. Staying ahead demands peak performance from our bodies.
Like never before, our bodies need an optimum supply of essential nutrients, and Supermalt supports our daily nutritional needs.
Supermalt has 20 essential vitamins, minerals, and natural extracts for overall health and wellness. One Supermalt a day gives you energy and vitality, improves your mental performance, and supports your immunity.
Good, tasty food is worth living for. Worried about your oil every time you enjoy your favorite meal? Introducing Smart Balance. Smart Balance rice bran oil is rich in gamma-oryzanol. Several studies suggest that gamma-oryzanol may contribute to the reduction of bad cholesterol. Golden Terra Smart Balance oil. Good food, no worries.
Sharon, Nigeria. Sharon, Nigeria. We are rebuilding the nation. Rebuilding Nigeria.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps to nourish your kids. Milo 3-in-1 is such a smart choice. Milo, energy to go further.
From Nestle.
We don't like to eat better, more nutritious meals, more veggies, but we want it tasty and easy too. No cubes, that's the secret. Made with real ingredients like chicken, parsley, and garlic, and enriched with iron, so your meals are better for you and more delicious too. That's the cocoa. Let's give it some accolades. Change your world by changing what's on your plate.
My skin is my identity, my strength. It's unique and deserves care made specially for me. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care with 5 oils and 5 vitamins. 48-hour nourishment. Helps reduce appearance of stretch marks in just 2 weeks. New Nivea Radiant and Beauty Advanced Care for your shade of beautiful.
The world needs moms. With a splash of Golden Terra oil, a mom can transform a frown into a smile. Change no thanks into yes please. Resolve family feuds without blowing a whistle. Providing tasty family meals is all that matters. Where there are moms, there is love. Golden Terra oil, pour pure love.
Big Crystal Original. Get a pen you can rely on.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. 1 cube, endless possibilities.
Many thanks for being there and welcome back to Abuja. The Federal Polytechnic Ayede Oyo State has been commended for its ingenuity and dedication demonstrated by a lecturer from the Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Oluwafemi Tijani, who fabricated a three-dimensional machine through the Tertiary Education Trust Fund project fabrication grant. This was when the Governing Council, Federal Polytechnic Ayede, led by its chairman, Yakubu Dati, visited the institution. Abiodun Babalola reports.
Using the 3D machine to council members, led by the chairman, Yakubu Dati, the fabricator and lecturer, Department of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, Federal Polytechnic Ayede, Olufemi Tijani says the printing machine can produce various objects using less material than the conventional methods.
The essence is to have a proper additive manufacturing way of packaging many of our produce or our products on campus.
I was surprised that the rector looked beyond his vicinity to attract funding to bring this invention into fruition. And I believe that will also encourage both students and staff to come up with inventions that they are keeping inside of them.
We are in an age whereby the in thing is technical innovation, whereby the in thing is commercialization of our research products. So, and we believe that one can.
Council members were later taken around the institution to assess some newly completed projects funded by TED Fund in the institution. Abiodun Babalola, NTA News.
Now let's do some business with our businessman, Benny Adams. Benny?
Thank you, Olajide. And talking of business, we start on a cheering note where Nigeria's own Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, the DG of the WTO, starts her second term in office as a DG of that World Trade Organization. And this is happening just as the Wall Street started off September on a sharply lower note on Tuesday as investors weighed the legality of President Trump's tariffs after a federal appeals court ruled that most of the sweeping tariffs are actually illegal. A divided U.S. appeals court ruled on Friday that most of the Trump's tariffs are illegal but allowed for levies to be in place until October 14th. The Trump administration can still file an appeal with the Supreme Court. The news rattled investors on Tuesday after the long Labor Day holiday weekend, with September traditionally a weak month for equities. In addition, investors are anxious to see the August U.S. non-farm payrolls report due on Friday.
Pre-tariffs at the beginning of the year, so there has been some impact. But we still find it remarkable that almost three-quarters of global goods trade is still taking place on WTO terms.
Well, that is it on business at this time. Olajide, you can take it from here.
Many thanks, Benny. It's always a pleasure doing business with you. Our President Bola Tinubu has congratulated Vice President Kashim Shettima on his 59th birthday. In a personally signed letter, President Tinubu described Shettima as a brother, a co-traveler, believing that since the duo embarked on their journey, united by their shared vision of building a more prosperous nation, his courage, sense of duty and belief in Nigeria's greatness has remained unshaken. The President appreciates the Vice President's vibrancy, loyalty, partnership and support as a deputy. Also, President Tinubu congratulates Governor of Zamfara State, Dauda Lawal, on his 60th birthday. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Ononuga, President Tinubu commends the governor for his dedication to the development, peace and security of Zamfara State. He assures Governor Lawal of the federal government's continued support and encourages him to remain committed to delivering good governance. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu rejoices with Vice President Kashim Shettima on the occasion of his 59th birthday celebration. In a birthday message captioned, "Celebrating our golden boy at 59." The First Lady congratulates the Vice President, his wife, children, grandchildren, friends and political associates, noting that the life of the celebrant has been one of commitment, service and dedication towards actualization of the renewed agenda of Mr. President. Meanwhile, Governor Basi Edet Otu of Cross River State have congratulated Vice President Kashim Shettima on his 59th birthday, describing him as a statesman of towering intellect, rare humility and unflinching devotion to Nigeria's progress. In a goodwill message by his Chief Press Secretary, Linus Obugo, Governor Otu said the Vice President's life service represents a shining example of courage, vision and selfless leadership. On behalf of the government and people of Cross River State, Governor Otu joyfully felicitates the VP, a leader who carries the weight of responsibility with dignity and grace. Meanwhile, Speaker of the House of Representatives Tajuddin Abbas describes Vice President Kashim Shettima as an excellent politician and a loyal, trusted and dependable ally of President Bola Tinubu. In a congratulatory message, Speaker Abbas says Shettima's legislative experience as a member of the 9th Senate had added immense value to the Tinubu administration. Borno State Governor Babagana Marazulum also extends heartfelt birthday felicitations to Vice President Shettima on his 59th birthday. In a statement he personally signed, Governor Zulum noted that the Vice President's mentorship has shaped countless leaders across Borno, the Northeast and beyond. The Northern Senators Forum to congratulate Vice President Kashim Shettima on his 59th birthday. Chairman of the Forum, Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, described Shettima as a distinguished statesman, a focused leader and a team player committed to the progress and prosperity of Nigeria. Meanwhile, Vice President Kashim Shettima has expressed appreciation to President Bola Tinubu and other Nigerians for the goodwill messages on his 59th birthday. In a statement he personally signed, the Vice President reflects on the heartwarming goodwill messages that reached him from across Nigeria and beyond. He expressed appreciation for the kind words and generous outpouring of prayers and goodwill, particularly from President Bola Tinubu and the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu. He said, having mediated on these tokens of goodwill, he is renewed in purpose and fortified in spirit, convinced that Nigeria's greatest days are ahead. The governing All Progressives Congress has commended the outcome of last Saturday's Rivers local government election conducted by the State Independent Electoral Commission, where the APC swept 20 out of the 23 local government councils. The party congratulated winners and expressed satisfaction with the performance of the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration for serving as a clear manifestation for growing support and trust for the party nationwide. A statement to the National Publicity Secretary, Felix Morka, dismissed former President Atiku Abubakar's allegations of electoral fraud during the process targeted to undermine the free and fair exercise. Another break beckons. The news continues in a moment.
Milo 3-in-1 Milky and Creamy is truly milky and contains calcium. So, no need to add milk for that rich, creamy cup, which helps. Milo 3-in-1 is such a smart choice. Milo, energy to go further.
From Nestle.
What did you
Guys, food is ready.
To impress.
Confidence is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 to 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.
Cube is available in beef, chicken, jollof, and crayfish flavors in 50 cubes Saver Pack and 100 cubes Super Saver Pack.
Terra Cube, unwrap joy, unleash taste.
Glad to know you're still there. Now let's quickly join Badi Adeleye for Sport Update. Badi.
Let's let you know that the Super Eagles of Nigeria officially began training for their forthcoming 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying fixtures against Rwanda's Amavubi Stars and South Africa's Bafana Bafana. 15 players who had arrived before the training began took part in Tuesday's session, which was overseen by head coach Eric Chelle and his technical crew. Wednesday's training session is expected to witness a full house, with more players still being expected to report to camp tonight or early in the morning on Wednesday. That's the much you can take on Sports Tonight. Let's return to Olajide.
Many thanks, Badi, and that's it on the Network News. Many thanks for being a part of it. I'm Olajide Bello.